Are you, Cheri?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine, and you sound wonderful. You look beautiful, sweetheart.
Thank you. You do
Cheri,
too.
you're, oh, thank you. Cheri is getting a coffee cup reading and a three-card reading combination. This is her cup.
Yay.
What I do is I sip it in her behalf, and after I've drained what's left, I will read her. I am going to read her the grounds and the bottom.
Yay.
And when we're done, I will pull three cards out of my Gypsy Russian Lenormand deck and give her a reading to go with it. Thank you, Cheri.
Yay.
Now this cup, I like to say where I got this came from the Smoky Mountains in one of the uh, little shops, and I love it. It's an antique shop. So while I was waiting, I usually wait until I do the reading, but while I was waiting and everything to set up right, I looked in here. I see just in the bottom of the cup, I read it three different ways. The first thing that I see when I turn it this way, I see the phoenix, the rising phoenix with the flames all around. To me, what this represents is you going in full bloom, new life. I believe that's what the phoenix means.
Nice.
It dies and then it has that new life. And that's what I see. And there's a trail coming from underneath. The fire flames out, and underneath there's a trail. And as I follow the trail and turn it around, I see your grandma. And I know in my heart that's who it is. Uh,
Aw.
beautiful, beautiful eyes, almost honestly, and I don't know what she looked like, but in here, and this is exaggerated, is how I envision it. She
Right.
almost looks, she looks like, what is that dark haired, cute, you see her all over, but in the black and white cartoons with the dark hair, and she parts her hair in the center. Do you know who I'm talking about? She's kind of,
Mm-mm.
anyway, when I remember, I will tell you, but she's watching over you. She is literally guiding you, sweetheart.
Aw.
Um, okay, there's the phoenix in the bottom. Later on, I'll send you a picture of it and the trail, and there she is. I
Aw.
don't know if you can see right there,
Mm-hmm.
but even her, and I don't know if she was bosomy, but in this,
Yes, she was.
it's almost like a heart to picture her bosom. Beautiful. It's beautiful. Um, so so that just tells me you blossoming into your new world, and you know what I mean by this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, now I look at the phoenix, and when I read a cup, I read as I finish one thing, it goes into another. At the same time, I see a family tree. And you're the trunk. Like you really work on keeping everybody together. Uh,
Yes.
and it reaches out, but you, as the phoenix, you're the phoenix that I saw has become the trunk, and then that's you, and it just reaches all out. And I could see where you traveled to be with family, where family comes in. Now, and you know as well as I do, and I have to tell you, even though I've given you readings before, we're we've talked so many times, you have spirit all around you. The faces in the side, these are not family, these are spirit that come around you.
Right.
I mean living family, okay?
Right.
Is what I mean. This is spirit, and they are all around. Now, okay, so if I take it, I try to put things in perspective as a timeline, This is not always to the T, right? But
Mm-hmm.
if I take it as today, okay, as the tree or the phoenix being today, and I follow it around as a year in scope around the cup.
Right.
Sometime right after the new year, I feel like money, whether it's selling or buying, because even buying, you can buy something and it's worth a lot more. So it's assets, right? And it would represent money. I see a huge lump coming in.
Oh, I like that.
I know, me too. So, but and when I say after the new year, I feel like January. I feel like more like February or March. So if something comes up then and you're debating, you naturally need to go, and I know your husband knows this, to go with your intuition, but something there, some kind of, and that's what it is. It's going to be a transaction, not like winning money. This is a transaction that will bring in money for you.
Mm-hmm. That's funny. We have horse sales then, so that makes
Oh,
sense.
that time of year?
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay. So there might be a big sale then, or maybe it's all a collective, but it's showing a lot. And for me, when I see money, it's fish coming down. Fish is a symbolism of prosperity, of good luck, of money, but it can also be a symbolism for a habit of drinking. But that's not what I feel. I feel the money. I'm just relating it. It's definitely money. And then I feel like I do, pardon me, as I go into the new year and going around, you have a beautiful, it's clear. I don't see anything, anything negative going on. I see all, especially throughout the summer, because this would be November. So that's throughout the summer. You're going to have beautiful, beautiful summer. But you're always going to have spirit. And we know this. That's the
Mm.
main thing, working on your gifts and stuff. That's why I feel like the phoenix coming up and blooming like that, and the flames, it's showing me how you're just coming into, not just, you're really expanding on. And that's what it is, you're expanding, you're opening up even more. And that's beautiful. That's a beautiful phoenix. Now go back, and now I am, now you dealt with what we saw in the house, the eye. It's gone. You don't get it no more, do you? You don't
No.
see it anymore. Nope, it's gone. Because when I come back here, I'm looking beyond that trail. See, I followed the trail upside down. Now I'm looking at it a different way. And I could see where the eye was, and then it just kind of diminishes. Thank God. That's good. You took care of that.
Yeah, there was an
Yeah,
evil eye. It's gone. Right.
it is. And that was so cool how you caught it. Yep, you took care, it's gone. And see that, now that goes back to what happens. See, that goes back. So we go back to right now on, and how clear, and how things are going to fall together. See, by getting rid of that, that's really going to help increase the sales come February and March. That
Right.
just, you know,
Yeah,
and
since
honestly,
then, everything's been opening up.
oh, thank God, that's
Yeah,
wonderful.
everything's been turning around. Right.
Now, I'm going back up to your grandmother, and I feel like I don't know if you knew your grandfather or if this is an uncle, but I'll tell you what he looks like. He looked like he had a small mustache, like it didn't really extend past here, but it could be his lips, but that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing like maybe he wore a, what do they call it? A fide? No. One of those small hats, I think like Frank Sinatra wore, okay? But it looked like he's got one of those rimmed hats, you know, with the crease, but his hair kind of come out on either side. So he may have been balding, but he definitely wore a hat. He's there with your grandmother, or this is a spirit, maybe somebody she knew, you might not have known.
That's my
Does it?
grandfather.
Oh, it is?
That's
Well,
my
there he is.
grandfather.
Well, he's around you as well, looking down. He's right there. And see, I didn't see that to start with, but like I said, as I turn it, I start seeing more. And
Yep,
there's
that's
no
my
mistake,
grandfather.
this man right next to her. I got goosebumps. That's so cool.
That's my grandfather, yeah.
And as far as a totem, totems have really been coming up. Animal totems.
Oh,
Um,
I've been seeing
um,
them in my orbs and I can't make them
animal.
out. Yeah, animal
Oh,
totems. I've
wonderful.
been seeing them in my orbs.
Wonderful. Uh, Definitely a bird. Bird is your, and you know this. Bird is
Yeah,
your, but you also have, and it looks like it's either a wolf or,
yeah.
or I would say it's a wolf. You don't just, not just a canine or a dog. This is definitely a wolf. It looks a lot like Lola
Oh,
in the face,
wow.
but it's above. But keep that in mind. And you know, totems, we you always have birds around you. So you're going to pick up, you need, if you don't already know, Google it to find out the symbolism, to
Right.
feel what properties they give us. Like squirrels and raccoons come in my life at a certain time when I need, and it's funny because they literally do. Well, you always have animals, but they
Right.
literally, it's like when I need a squirrel, when I need to raise a baby squirrel, it's usually when I'm really sad. Something, and it picks me up. And there's something in the qualities of the squirrel that help me deal with what's going on. And the same thing through
Oh,
the years with the raccoon. And so right now, this is showing me that right now is when you're going to be pulling the properties or the help from the wolf. You
oh,
always
very
do from the
cool.
birds. So,
Oh, I think I have a picture of an orb that has a wolf in it because it kind of looked like a dog, but it didn't, and I wasn't sure what it was. So it
oh, if
probably
you
was the
find it,
wolf. Oh
and
my
yeah, I don't
gosh.
doubt it. Send it
Yeah,
to
how
me if you get a
cool.
chance. I
Yeah,
would love to
yeah.
see it. And honey, that's about all I see in the cup, unless you got a question that I might see. And
No.
that really goes around. That's a pretty cup. That's really a pretty cup. Did you have a
Very
question
nice.
for it?
No,
No. Okay.
that's
You know,
neat.
I never know when I give a cup reading. I never know what's going to come up.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's not, but that was quite a bit there. You know, you
yeah.
just never know.
Very
So
cool.
thank you, honey. I
That was
hope you got
beautiful.
some out of that. Thank you. Now, as I pull cards, of course, I always say I'm not a card reader. So I don't have a name for this. Like they have different names for laying cards out. This is 3 cards I pull. The first card I pull represents you. The second card represents what's going on around you.
Okay.
And the third card is the near future. So what I ask from you though, Mikey mentioned this. Michael is my son and my manager.
Okay.
He mentioned that maybe I would want to see if somebody would like to ask 3 questions and me answer it with 1 card. He says I'm good at that, or do it like I regularly do. So I'm asking you, I'm going to give you the opportunity on that.
Just how you regularly do it.
Okay, all right. So, okay. Show me Cheri. right? Show me what's going on around her. Okay. Okay, just a minute. Now show me the near future. Cut it in half, cut it in half. Okay, here we go. All right, so the 3 cards I received. Now this is my Gypsy Russian Lenormand deck. The first card, which shows me you, is the book. All right.
Okay.
Show me what's going on around you. Now this represents quite a bit. The birds is what I
Oh, how
got.
funny.
Okay.
That's funny.
And the third card, which is the near future, shows me the lily. Now, as I explain them to you. All right, the book. Not for me, you haven't been, but I feel like you are a closed book for a lot of people. You don't open up. You don't just say what's going on, what you feel to many people at all. You're basically a closed book.
That's very
And
true.
and and that represents you. All right. Now, but if you need, and usually I'll say you can go to somebody, you have people you can go to, including me, if you need somebody to really open up to. So, you know this. Don't, don't ever hold something in if it's going to hurt you or bother you. You need to let it out. All right, now the birds. Okay, right away, I think of your birds all around. Cheri raises birds, parrots of all sorts. And this is good. This does represent it, but it also, I feel like, it represents talking to spirit. It represents to me, I felt as soon as I pulled it, I feel all of this coming to mind. Not only the spirit around you, connecting with spirit, to talking, but also talking with family. I know you keep well connected with your children. And obviously other family members, but that's what I feel. I don't, you can get good and bad out of this, but I feel all positivity from this card. So there's nothing to worry about on that. The owl actually is an omen, but not for you. This is all good. So we go with that. All right.
Okay.
You know what I mean by the owl. I've explained that to you.
No.
No. Okay. When I pull this up, sometimes I feel the owl, not so much the bird. In my culture, the owl is an omen. So that's good for you to know too. And anybody else that is listening. An owl represents when you see, and this is again my culture, I'm Lebanese, but it's also Native American, and I do have that in my background. But when the owl comes, it can mean death. It can mean sickness. So when one appears to you, it depends on how you feel about it when you see it. But keep that in mind. All right.
Okay.
Um, Now, the lily is your near future. And the lily represents, when I think of the lily, there's a few things. I think of new growth, new birth, which is you, new growth. I also think of, it can be, a lot of times lilies represent in death, but to me, I see marriage, new life. Um, Even one of our gifts that we give to new married couples is a peace lily, which you see it in other ways, given it at funerals and stuff. But we look at lilies as fresh, new life, new growth. And
Right.
that's what I feel. I feel for you, just like the phoenix coming up, all this new growth. And I feel with this new coming year, with the year coming in, I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. um,
Yeah.
I, I feel that you're going to expand even more in everything you're doing and all that you do. Not only you, I feel like in your love life, in your family life, in the home, everything's going to expand. It's very good. You've got a very good cards there We
Yay.
I hope that
Great.
helps
Thank you.
you.
It was
Uh,
wonderful.
you're most welcome. Thank you for doing this with me. Thank you for having this session.
Thank you. I loved it.
Thank you, sweetheart. God bless you. And thank you for letting me record this. I'm going to
Yeah.
go from here. And I know they'll hear this, but I love you. Thank you so
Mwah.
much. God bless
Thank
you.
you. Love you. Mwah.
Bye bye. Bye.
Bye.